welcome in to the Johns Chopkins podcast. Thinking about blue. I was thinking about blue BYU, thinking about South Dakota State. Blue is on my mind, blue out. And I was like, who else is blue? Oh, yeah, that's right. The school, Johns Chopkins. This is the Johns Chopkins podcast presented by no one.
Wait, isn't it John Chopkins, not John's?
It's Johns.
No, it's Johns Hopkins. Mate, we grew up for 18 years.
No,
10 minutes down the road.
When you throw the chop in there, it throws off the brain chemistry. But yeah, shout out to all 126 Chopmen. I think that's a rise from about 10 or so, maybe 6 or 7 or so from last episode. Last episode, at the time we fell off.
No, I think 6-7's dead.
Because of those kids.
Yeah, behind the
kids?
girl.
Yeah.
The Oregon State or Oklahoma State, was it?
Oregon State.
Oregon State. You didn't see this interview? It went super viral. Like
he saw it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. In the concourse?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but it popped up on my feed. And all right, so 6-7's done. I'm fine with that. I think it's run its course at this point.
Yeah,
it's still generational. It's still generational. Don't get it twisted. Like, if you can get Tim to like a brain rot meme, it's actually generational.
I also think the fact that when it's our 67th birthday, knock on wood, like the fact that you are going to think about that in 40 years time is like pretty impressive.
That's generational. 145 views at the time of recording on last week's episode, 126 Chopmen. Appreciate every single one of you Chopmen. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 130.
And that was a Matt Ariza in subscriptions, subs.
Yikes. It's early. Like Arise.
I thought he was saying the number. I thought he was saying the number. I got
all right, on Chop today, we've got two main things. We've got BYU and everything that weekend held, and then we've got the pivot, the decision, the decision part 3. You had Miami, you had Hennessy, and now you have LSU to South Dakota State. We will have a special guest as a recurring theme on the show. We do special guests, and then we'll finish with NFL picks, which we got to recap. My boys picked the 2 worst picks on the entire board. Cannot wait to recap that. But let's start. Tim, it's on your shirt. Talk to me.
BY mother, not going to say it because we do the code. You. Yeah, that was pretty fantastic. Turns out we made a pretty good decision in going to BYU. It was on one of those it was a wish list item for me for a long time. And yeah, I mean, we're going to say it, right? Loudest stadium we've ever been in. Loudest. Everyone's in agreement there.
Whoa,
so when we what's up?
You gave 8. Oh, right. Fans and atmosphere encapsulates more than just loudest. You were saying, I'm not sure if I've stamped it loudest. I think it's I'm giving a 1A, 1B my experiences to Tennessee and BYU currently. I'm not sure if I can confidently throw it above.
In terms of sound or?
Yeah, just straight loudness. The only reason I say is because we lined up right in front of student section. At Tennessee, we were actually opposite student section. So partly me's like, wow, I can only imagine. So that's why they're 1A, 1B to me. But still, nonetheless,
when you guys are doing your fans and atmosphere rankings, or even just saying like how loud a stadium was, are you going like per person, or are you going just like, look, if one stadium's 100K, then they have that advantage?
Yeah, I think I'm giving credit to BYU creating that sound in a smaller stadium, but for me, it's like that's just the game you're playing, and it's all even rating.
The one counterpoint I'll say to student section on the opposite end, what was probably, and we did not discuss, but probably most impressive about BYU is their stadium is actually not conducive to holding stadium noise, right? They've got leakage on all four corners versus Tennessee. It's just like this, like it is a sound
just a
bowl. So that's impressive.
And I don't grade anything with relativity, like bigger capacity, smaller capacity. I try my best to just like close my eyes on like a third down, and I'm like, because I don't believe in any of the decibel readers, not even like the scoreboard ones that are obviously fake. I don't believe the ones that people have in their hands. Like I don't like means nothing.
It's just your ears,
because I don't know how
ear test.
I don't even know how those really work. Like, does it matter where you're standing? Like, you know, it's just
temperature. Yeah.
I don't really quite. And again, like it has to be like,
what?
Yeah. If the little needle is colder or warmer, does that affect it? That's Tim and I's point. We have no clue how that thing functions.
And like, I don't know how it functions with like, I mean, like sure, like if you're in a dome, it's going to like the waves are going to, they have nowhere to go. And so it's like, does that like, because they're all bouncing off of each other, does that like, they count like double clicks there? Like I don't, and so I don't believe any of that nonsense. I wouldn't, I don't want one. I don't want to deal with that. I just go by my feel. So granted, you're kind of close, you got to think back, like how really loud was Tennessee? So, and I mean, again, we're splitting hairs here. Maybe it was because we're on the field. I wish we could just like go back and forth and be like, huh? We need to actually forget the stupid reader. We need a contraption that is like a universal, just like microphone that's like calibrated the same spot, put in the same place. Because I don't believe in the decibel nonsense. Just
Fair.
Whichever mic peaks more. I mean, we have experience with measuring that.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a post about this.
One more thing. You know what it's like? It's like accounting measurements at people's pro days. Like when I see like the
right.
Like
it's like your
the
play time, but
yeah. And again, I'm not talking about the jumbotron. We all know that's fake. Sorry to like ruin that for you if you're under 12 years old. But like that reader, when I see like a team posted, especially, I'm like, oh, you ran up 4-1 at your pro day? Yeah, me too.
So I was gonna make a post on this, but now I'm realizing maybe just like clipping it out of Chop is the best, most accessible way for me and my use of time. So one day I want to design the perfect sports experience, right? That's why we want to build a platform for Snapback experiences. It's why we're going to all these games so we can pull from, so we can see different things. And after that, I want to maybe like even own a team just so I can put all those things into effect. The first call that's going to happen is going to be to BYU. And his name is David Almadova. The in-game experience at BYU that is the best thing they have going for them. I have never seen, nor did I even recognize how important that was to a game before. And Tim made the funniest comment of the weekend. Like, you don't need to bring out the team from 1912 that won the Big 12 and they, brings the energy down in the stadium. But this guy, just for a sober crowd, even for a drunk crowd, just kept the energy. It was like storytelling in real time. And it was just fantastic. And I contrast that with Casey lives in New York. I used to live in New York. And we always used to joke, like, if we got free tickets to the Jets or the Giants, like, we would literally say no. It's a miserable experience to go to MetLife. Being in MetLife is miserable. And obviously the team is miserable. But what I never realized was, like, it's the in-game experience that's gotten so bad because I think these teams just know if people are going to come, like, it doesn't really matter to them, right? Like, who cares? They already gave us the dollars. It's not on us to make that experience better. So I just want to say BYU needs to sign that man to a lifetime contract because I genuinely believe he may be the most valuable person in sports right now.
I'm sure this guy's great. no bad things to say about them, and they do a fantastic job. It's just another sign of like just games gone in terms of like when you ticket prices out of control, fees out of control. That's why you use something like C Club. Pay one price for the year, and you don't have to pay fees on your tickets. But again, I don't freak out about beer and food prices in stadiums because I go in and knowing I'm gonna get fucked. But it was like it's part of the deal. It's like having an issue with your health insurance and trying to call them up. It's like, I know I'm about to get fucked. So just don't make it as bad. What they've gotten to such a level is the commercial break stuff. Because one, it's TV's fault for 3.5 minute commercial break, how frequent they are. And then now these stadiums like, well, you're all here. We don't really care how loud you are. You guys all, paying customers. It doesn't matter to us because if they cared about how loud they would push the ticket prices down. And then it's like all that nonsense that happens in between with paying off sponsors, this and that. And then every team's day in the sun, we got to honor the badminton team from 1949. We're in Nebraska. It was literally a line for all the teams that they were going to honor on the field every commercial, and they were just shuffling them next and next. How many times do you get up and clap and cheer? Like I always thought, like the one time we all did that was like the salute to service. Like, stand up, we have military veterans, and it was like, okay, up, stand up, and it's like every 5 seconds now, and that's part of again what makes people fall asleep. BYU.
So I don't understand though. You're saying you don't give them credit because you're going in, or you don't care about the in-game experience?
No, what I'm trying to say is that everyone is capable of making it somewhat better. Okay. BYU was just
so, right. So that's your point. Your point is like, no disrespect to David, but it shouldn't be that hard. My take is that if no one else is doing it though, like maybe it actually is that difficult.
So it's like this. It's like if you showed up here dressed nicely, like somewhat, I'd be like, wow, you look nice. But it's also like we can also just do the same thing. Me and Casey also could like put on a collared shirt. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty simple. Like I'm not gonna,
but I comp it to like when we watch NFL quarterbacks and we're like, how are there no good quarterbacks? Like all you have to do is be able to throw an out route, and it's like, but only 8 of the guys can do it.
No, because it's not talent. It's the pressure.
I disagree. I think it's talent.
Maybe Tim's. I think you're both partially right. I think Tim's underselling the talent that does go into making that game day schedule that is so good, and then he's partially right about the fact that it's actually not that anyone can do it. The credit goes to them acknowledging the importance of it and doing something different. Because it's kind of like what we talk about of like marketing budgets. Like these people are so lazy. They're like, give me $1 million. Hey, the person that we did our last marketing campaign with, you weren't a headache. You get our dollars. And they just run the same process because they're lazy and they don't want to put in the effort to make something outstanding. The fact that he's actually putting in the effort to do so is potentially what's more impressive than actually what he's doing himself.
Part of it is I just cannot fathom the amount. Like I know how many people are in like marketing, fan engagement, tickets. So many people. So I cannot, if I have to say that many people are incompetent and unable to execute something to do in 3 minutes during a game, when like that is some group of people's job to do. If I have to come to grips with there's that many incompetent people, then I don't know
that's
how
what you're struggling with.
Because
all right.
Because again, there has.
I don't know if it's incompetence. I think it's genuine laziness. Like check the box. They did it on to the next week.
No. This is where I think you're missing. Yes, there is a certain level, and it's a famous quote: hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? So that is what you guys are kind of framing it as. The creation of the fourth quarter show.
Oh yeah,
that's not anyone could do that. And I know like Texas does a drone show, and now they're doing a drone show, but like there is meaningful ways and storytelling that is within, and I saw, and maybe I don't know if it's because you weren't at Big Noon, Tim, but they set up earlier in the day, like the Sway, they set up Turbulence as marketing that as the song. And so you can't get traditions without the school obviously buying into said traditions. I think he's that talented. And look, could others, I think what you're saying is we could improve our game day in-game experience across the country, but I think he would be amongst the top.
Sure, fine. But I'm actually, because I'm not even talking about fourth quarter stuff. I'm fine if I never see a fourth quarter show ever again. I'm talking about just every 3-minute commercial break. It didn't feel like a slog. And there was
Right,
points of the game that was very low scoring.
Right, but there's corporate integrations that they did pull off, right? They did the field goal kick, and it felt so fast, and it almost like
the field goal kick happened so fast
because they were so good at it. So it
also wasn't a joke though. They were giving away a free card. Other places
they're doing real shit,
kick.
not Mickey.
No,
it's like places, you win a $50 gift card.
Yes. That's like also the kind of stuff I'm saying. It's like,
and by the way, this is why I continue to harp on, like, I think it's a talent thing. Who has to pitch to the school why all these things are important? You need buy-in from up top, but you also need someone who can communicate clearly, who can convince others that, hey, instead of a $50 gift card to the local grocery store, let's give away a car. And by the way, the in-game experience is so good that we gave away a car. It didn't even feel like a big deal. Like, that's
it's because we're basically doing go talk, because I actually think the MVP of this situation is the guy who approves the ideas.
Could be.
Everyone involved.
Everyone gets credit.
Like Jack said on his Ravens podcast, there's not one person at fault. It's multiple people. Some people may be carrying a little bit more of the fault, but it's a group thing. Same thing. More people are carrying the greatness than just one person.
And not to glaze while we're here, but like I think of like Jack. Like, this place is a very creative place, and I am creative. But I have been places where my creativity was never approved nor even entertained. So it's like, that has nothing to do. Like, I'm like, yeah, man, I could go be creative, like in my broom closet over there. Like, I figure out something to do. It's like, you have to have the right people to approve and listen. So yeah, for sure. It is a whole bunch of.
Got to keep it moving.
Sorry. Wait,
no.
Anything else on BYU? Can I?
Yeah, you're
not moving. You're not moving on from BYU. Okay.
No, we have our number one ranked Snapback Saturday of all time, and it lands at BYU. I think Jack, Vert, and Vert is a little Mickey Mouse because he's only been to 6 experiences, but for the 3 of us who have been to all of them, that holds high credence. You, Timmer, are not entirely on board. Stake your claim for why this is not the number one Snapback Saturday's experience.
Yeah, this is a tough situation to be in, to be the push back against guy, but I'm a balls and strikes guy. What I look at it like is recommending places for people to go. That's like how I interpret what we do, is like, sure. Oh, you go everywhere, where should I go? And BYU would be on the list of places that you should go. But it's almost like going to a museum or something like that. Like, the participation in the event, like, if we didn't have all of our access and all of our things to do, like, at the end of the day, Provo is not necessarily where you go for a like party guys weekend. And I still like to look at college football travel through that lens. And this has nothing to do with them like not drinking or the code. Like, I actually think that's fascinating, and I think that's a reason to go. But the fact that there's nowhere for us to go out to eat, like very few places, and during game weekends, they're going to be packed out. Like, we ate Popeyes at 3 a.m. We had McDonald's at 9 one night.
Yeah, but that's not for a lack of them having stuff. That was our schedules weren't.
No, the Popeyes thing for sure. But like McDonald's, we were trying to find restaurants at first. We were trying to see what was open.
That wasn't at like 11 o'clock.
10 o'clock on Thursday.
Okay. Don't get caught up in the semantics of the argument.
No. What I will say is I used to fight back against. I think what you're doing is just a little bit separate from Snapback Experience. Like Snapback Experience is what is the best experience we've ever had, and I think you may agree that this is it. What you're saying is take us out of the experience, and it's like I went here, now take our experience out, what holistically, which is fine. But do you agree that this has been your best experience, let alone what you would recommend taking our experience out of it?
No, my number one's still Nebraska for, again, if we're doing our experience going in the Cold Cup again. So then you're
time out.
Things that aren't comparable.
That rather than Tim experience, what about our Snapback Sports experience? Is that still Nebraska, or is that only Tim experience?
I think so.
Okay.
That scale is silly as well. Your experience taking into account game, etc. Without I think it's fair to eliminate that you did a cold tub with Matt Rule. I feel like you're smart enough to be able to evaluate. Okay, if you remove Matt Rule, how was Nebraska's weekend experience, and how was BYU's, and how was Knoxville, and how was Tuscaloosa?
Again, I hate having to be the guy that is the pushback against her, because I graded it just 2 points below, a decimal below you guys.
Yeah.
My only point is, and I'm not saying this because I like to drink, and it's not the point. There's the game, which is phenomenal. And the production is phenomenal. And the view and the beauty, everything is phenomenal. Before and after, there's nothing for you.
Yeah. I'm okay. Yeah, I don't think that take is crazy at all. I think
that's okay. That's part of what makes it unique. And that's why it's come see a place where it's the total opposite and it's just the game. And it's
that's part of why I might have loved it more, is because if you want to bake it down, how different is the Alabama and Tennessee experience really? And then when you go to the BYU, it's this is literally nothing else you can get, for better or worse, obviously.
Right. And that's why the uniqueness of it is extremely high.
Right.
But we talked about it. Friday, I was not buzz.
Right.
And that's a big part of it for me. Which, not to say that they don't care. It's just I don't know if part of caring what that really means if you break it down, but I guess because there's socially I don't want to say little to do, but we went out to an ice cream shop on Friday night.
There is. We
went out to an ice cream shop on Friday night, and it wasn't, you don't have to be drinking. It could a Go Cougs chant breaks out. It wasn't
100%. And we love the fact the girls in cowboy boots and then going to grab a bite and potentially early kick, go home, or if it's 3:30 night game, go out to the bar. But there is, again, the uniqueness of, we didn't do it because we had facility tour, but in another world where we don't do this with access, we're playing a round of golf in the mountains on Friday instead of FAC, and then you're doing game. They still have, it's just different, which is.
Yeah, I think that sums it up. It's just a different experience. It's a must do. If you went to a non-Holy War game, is that going to be the best experience in college football? Of course not. And by the way, it might not have been your type of experience. You keep saying it's not because I didn't drink, but at the same time, it is because there's no drinking culture, which plays into it. And it's something that I've always talked about will be on the Snapback Sports Experiences platform, website. I want to have curation for different types of experiences, right? I'm bringing my child. I'm going with my friends. I'm going with a girlfriend. I'm going with my frat brothers. I'm here for the weekend as a visitor. I'm here. That is why we are in this world of experiences, because every experience is so unique. By the way, us being on the field versus us sitting up top would have been a completely different experience because we hear sound differently. So,
One more thing to push against the drinking. For example, when we were at Nebraska, Casey, we were out to breakfast day of the game. The band comes into the restaurant, and the band does laps around the restaurant playing music. And we were not drinking. Few people even were. It was just a breakfast buffet.
No, I feel
that's
you.
What I kind of mean.
That, overall buzz. No. Buzz is. I'm with you. And again, you may weigh buzz like more than like for me. I can almost get like my excitement for the game comes. It doesn't need to necessarily. You want to be engulfed in that. But maybe the fact that we went to Big Noon and you guys didn't. Maybe that was like as soon as I saw Big Noon, I was like, this is. Like they know, they get it, that type of stuff. But no, I fully understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. And one thing real quick, just because I got to take care of the Chapman. The pen popping is probably not going to play on audio. All good. I just want to make sure.
All right. Anything else on score before we move forward?
No. Look again. The game itself, and I was like a big BYU guy of wanting to go. And I think that having a weekend that is unique like that there's something to be said. It's just, when people recommend places, it's tough to do it not the way that we did. And I'm having a hard time taking that out. Because when I do my scores, I know we say our experience, like we know, like don't fully base Nebraska off being in the cold tub. Like we know that. So that's why I'm like, guys, we're on the field. Like I had a video do 1 million views. Like obviously I'm pretty excited about that. Like it went well for me. Not everyone like is going to be able to have that type of thing. We stormed the field. Like, everything.
Right. I mean, that was available to everyone.
The perfect parlay of events.
Sure. And that's why it ends up number one. Like, but yeah, no, 100%. I want to slightly transition to you have something, Jack, it seems.
I have a question. I feel like I ask this every week. What's the point of the podcast? Like I enjoy doing it. That's not why I'm asking. I'm trying to understand where we should take it next. Like for example, I tweeted that I think we are the hottest brand in sports media right now.
Yeah, I was about to go to impact on the business of them collabing, them making their own graphic, YouTube collab.
Okay.
Is that where you wanted to go?
No, that's what I'm trying to check is like we're doing some recapping. I feel like we just talked a lot about like marketing. We talked about the score. So it's talking about, our content. Is it like a business focused podcast? Obviously we do NFL picks at the end. I think it can be a blend, but I just want to make sure that we deliver on what we're trying to get out of it.
Get out what you're trying to get out.
No. I'm just asking what. I'm not saying we're doing it wrong, by the way. I was gonna ask Casey, like, where are we headed next?
We're headed to the impact this could have on the brand.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to talk about that.
Set us up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, all right. So
I will talk about whatever. I just want to talk. Like, so just
we know.
Please pick a topic.
So shout out our beauty John. I've been going back and forth with him, especially after the Springer Dinger, that Legends from Toronto. John being the guy who took us around. So yeah, we've been having comms back and forth all week. YouTube released the collab feature recently, and we tried to do it with Nebraska. We didn't get a response, which was interesting. But we are going to collab the YouTube video with the official BYU account is 1. 2, they are going to make, similar to Big Ten Freshman of the Week, number 11 in the AP poll when it comes out. They're making a graphic for us. Number 1 Snapback experience is BYU, making that themselves, collabing it with us. They have completely bought into what we're doing and its importance. Where do we think, like how big, who wants to measure this moment? It feels big. We're in it. How big is this moment actually?
I wrote like an emergency newsletter last year when Wisconsin tweeted out the video, which was the only acknowledgement that we really had from socially. Yeah. No, not even the score. I mean, yes, we said it was the greatest, but it was more just like, hey, we went to Wisconsin. Because remember, last year we did the tour and we pretty much did it solo aside from Tennessee and Wisconsin. I think this is going to be the exact same thing, but bigger. I tweeted that we have the most momentum in sports media, and I'm a comment guy. Like, I like to go through comments, not for my ego, although people pointed out it was an egotistical comment, but to get a pulse. Like, is this accurate? Is this true? Is this not? And I probably shouldn't respond to as many as I do, but
you have
truly
like brass balls. It's unbelievable. You fascinate me.
I truly, I think it's a big one, and we don't get too high, too low. But when we came into the fall, we set a goal of 250,000 subs on YouTube. It was probably a bit ambitious on my part, but the other thing, 1B, was we need to make the score matter. And quite frankly, the score hasn't mattered at all. Internally, probably like the athletics department or whoever we communicate with throughout the fall to collaborate on this content, they may look and care, but no one is waiting to the end of the video caring about the score. And that I think we've kind of just like pushed to the side. But I think this moment is what makes the score really start to matter, right? And so we work with them on this, and then the follow-up is just as important, right? We need to be honest about scoring, and we are always honest. But yeah, I think it's going to be a huge moment. And the reason why I'm not like being like, this is the greatest moment in company history, this is the big, is because I really think it's just going to become the standard for this company. Like, I don't want to react and be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're collabing with us, when it's like, that should be the expectation, right? Like, these schools should care when we're coming, and it is a big deal. And it is a big deal that we're pivoting to, South Dakota State. And like, yeah, you can look at it and say your Twitter account has 14,000 followers, and we don't even have 100K on YouTube, and our Instagram has less than 250,000 followers. But at the same time, I think everyone in it, like especially the three of us on the screen, anyone who we work with outside of it, anyone who follows the brand closely, they can feel it. And I'm a big analytics guy, and so I always joke that momentum isn't a thing in football. Like, you just go for it. I don't care how, but like, yeah, momentum in life is palpable. And so, yeah, this is a huge step forward. I'm eternally grateful to BYU that they want to do this, but at the same time, we also got to sit up here and be like, yeah, we deserve this, right? We've created this, we've built this, and we're doing things the right way. So yeah, it's a huge moment that'll definitely be notable.
So this actually relates to my like pushback on the score and all of that sort of stuff. I actually think this is a perfect scenario here, because while I am thrilled by the momentum, like growth, all of those things, you can't do this without having little wins like that. What my pushback is like, so if you say that you want our score to matter, I'm over here like, now it matters when we give someone the number one. Like, they go, like, you're like, it's a big deal that they're going to collab with us. It's like, do we really want that on all of them? But again, it's also like the perfect storm, because I think that us being a mouthpiece for BYU also in a sense works, because we learned on the fly there. A lot of our assumptions, a lot of the things we thought about BYU are not totally true. Like, for instance, they're like, yeah, like, we're not gonna like push this on you and all that. Like, it's not like you guys are walking around with the camera, and because Tim had a drink over in a different parking lot, like, he can't walk into the football stadium. Like, it wasn't as like, it wasn't some like prison feel. It wasn't some like draconian feel. Like, and so then I'm like, okay, we helped kind of serve that, and I'm proud to do that. But then it's like, are we just going to be the guys now that like go say good things about the FCS, say good things about like,
no, but that's the
and
thing.
I'm not saying you said that we are. I know. I'm just, it's only
it's a good devil's advocate. And so here's my response to your response. Number one, if I felt like we pushed this, like, I plugged in the score, right, and I did want it to be number one, because I felt like that would be a better outcome. But if it was 2, then we were going to reframe it. In terms of, are we only talking about when it's number 1? No, we're only going to talk about it, and people are only going to care if it's relevant, right? And that doesn't always mean number 1. No one, Alabama doesn't get excited about posting that they're 17 in the AP poll, right? Because their standard is 1. But when South Dakota, when Temple, if they got into the top 25, they'd be pretty jazzed up about that, right? And so it's similar. Honestly, throughout this fall, as I look at the schedule, like, we've had a bunch of middle of the pack scores. So that's part of it. Like, that's just natural. If we had a really poor score, we should talk about that. But of course, the school's not going to be, promoting that either. So this is, I think, the next step. We let BYU know early. We're going to collaborate with them. It's still going to be in their branding, which I think is powerful. The next time we have a big score, it could be a fans and atmosphere score. It could be the best food in college football, whatever it may be. If we post about that, right, we put out YouTube, we put out our own stuff, and then the school picks it up themselves and does it without us, right? And they're like acknowledging that our ratings and rankings matter. That's kind of the next, phase of this whole thing. So,
and I also think you made the perfect comparison is like now that we have 5 people involved in the scoring, it's like we're all AP poll voters, and like you can disagree with other people and you can say that might not be right, but I think everyone who has a vote is still proud to be involved and part of that. Like, I am one of the AP poll voters. I am one of the Snapback experience scorers. Despite me potentially not agreeing with everything, there's still credence that comes to having a say in what goes out, which I think is
I think
cool
it's
comparison.
necessary. Yeah. And my favorite thing to do is to say, that was a great analogy. So I appreciate you agreeing that it was a great analogy.
It's hilarious. Like, Tim has the SEC bias because they have Friday after class. They got the girls in the boots. I don't love going out after a game.
Right.
The fact that there were no options, plays, like all that is kind of funny in its own right,
And the beauty is that the Athletic put out their top 25 stadiums in college football today. And obviously you do the graphic because that's easier to consume. And then I actually took the time to go underneath and read. And I'm just like, who is this person, right? How can they speak on this? What's the comment? The reality is like, it's why we're going to South Dakota State. It's why we're going to see them all. And there's nuance to it, right? Because we really probably aren't going to know what the best experience is, because you would have to go to 100 Penn State games. You have to go to 100 LSU games. Like, you would have to see that moment. At least we can give the context. And that's what our YouTube channel really does. And, I think the new channel in Slack I started, which is testimonials, is my new favorite thing. Because, like, we're in the past week, we've created a Buffalo Bills fan, a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan. I'm sure we're going to create BYU fans. Archie was making a decision on where to go to college. He used our content. Like, I know we love to, belittle ourselves, but it's real shit. And so the score is kind of like the next version of that. And then I look at, like, I think it was New Mexico. I forget what school it was, but they tweeted their jersey release and they were like, "We think you'll like these at Barstool Big Cat." Like, that's what we want to continue to do. And that is why, if I could pick a moment that was most powerful from this weekend, it's not the score. It's not hanging out with our boy Connor Pay or John. It's that BYU came to you and said, let's recreate this sound. Let's script this. That means we have a thing. Like you joked about, say the line. But like, that's a thing. Now we all start to have things, and that's the most powerful.
Yeah, I am flattered. I am all for all of it. Like, believe me, I'm just. It's just, it's funny. It just, from the functionality standpoint of it, is like, I would just like worry sometimes. I'm like, yeah, we just whore ourselves out for a weekend. And if it's like a good match, then like we all feel really good. We score it better. They're excited. And then we're on to the next. And it's like, hoard out again for South Dakota State. And it's easier to do that than it is for me to talk about how we didn't go to LSU and be like, not. I'm not like super psyched about doing that part either, but it's just funny that it's like they're basically like, yeah, we had the best weekend stand with Snapback, number one, and I'm like, yeah, there it is.
Here's the thing though, and it's funny because I can circle back to the conversation earlier about our guy David, which is we went to Kent State. I say I sent you two goons to Kent State. It rated horrendously as expected. The content was awesome. It wasn't like a hit piece, right, on the university, and that is what I think we're actually saying here is you're like, oh, we're hoarding ourselves. Oh my God, this place was the best. This was the best. That's because we actually fucking love this shit. Like we do enjoy, like Nebraska's been amazing. Hawaii was a lot of fun. Like looking at the schedule, I mean, what's the one that you would look at and say, no, this actually sucked? Like that's where I'm like, maybe it's Delaware State, right? Like the game day atmosphere sucked and like you wanted to be there for college football, but then you had fun at the Plots. But you also said, like, I'm a pregame guy, not a post. I think it's about that the sports experiences are fun. And that's why there's not as many like negative spins on it.
And I'm not saying to be negative. Like I'm not saying it's black or white. Like we're either all in or all out. All I'm saying is like I just don't agree with the fucking score,
No, and by the way, we've been negative. When we were leaving Winnipeg, we almost got stopped at the security line. So we've called balls and strikes.
Believe me, it's a lot more fun to be positive. And I'm also annoyed at this pretzel because I did have a good time. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I think BYU is like tremendous for everything that we are looking for. My only thing is just, again, like sometimes in social media in this world, like we tend to have like new goalposts every once in a while for what deems success. And sometimes initially the goalposts were like followers, and then it was like likes. Now it's views, then it's engagements, then it's, and I'm just like, if our goalposts are like collabs and
I don't think they are.
But it's not number one. It's not number one because of collabs, though.
No, but it certainly helps. And again, I want it. It magnified our content. So like, all I'm saying is like, if we deem that good, then like we maybe will be in a mindset where we're less willing to, and again, not say something bad. I don't mean that. I just mean like what we deem success for our company. Like, that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying success is negativity. I'm saying what is the thing that's better than collabs that we should be wanting? Like, what is the thing better than being recognized? Jack, I think you made a good point about like people saying, "Hey, what do you guys think?" That's certainly a good one, but we're just kind of still searching. Like, I'm interested in what that next identity is for us because I think I'm like, yeah, what's next? We're doing pretty damn well.
All right. Well, what's next is being able to create noise in a pivot. The decision, part 3. As I'm coining it currently. I'm wearing my LSU sweatshirt. Shout out Roback, 20% off, link in the description. I fought for LSU. I think there's still a chance that we could have made the wrong decision, but I'm fired up to head to SDSU. Are you guys, where's your confidence level at with the decision?
Is this something we want to give context on or no?
I just said originally we were heading to LSU. We made a pivot.
And now we're not.
And now we're not.
Yeah, LSU was on the schedule. Everyone says it's the best experience in college football. As Jack said, The Athletic actually put out in a ranking today saying it's the best experience in college football. A lot of people actually on the grounds have told us it's not, and we want to go when it is. And we have a game of the century in the FCS, so we decided we'll do LSU again.
We were excited about going while it's not, though, to see what that was like. Like, this was true 55-45, a true 50-50. Like both, I mean, Matt, who's our YouTube editor, if people don't know, he was like, can we split up? And we were like, for what we want to do, it doesn't feel right. I mean, we won't get the most out of it. But yeah, this was like a true, let's go LSU, let's go North Dakota, South Dakota State. Vandy and Indiana, I think, are interesting. We'll get into the game day. Can we talk about that later? You asked the question though, what's our confidence level in the decision? We're now 5 hours out from like going live with it, announcing it. It's clear that it's the right decision, in my opinion. I just think for everything that we're trying to do, we want to frame ourselves as this up and coming people, the heartbeat of college football. So from a brand perspective, from a business owner perspective, like easy decision there. And then let me tell you, I honestly don't know if I should talk about this on the airwaves. So I won't call out who it was or when it was, but essentially I had a meeting over the past week, and they're trying to turn content into private equity. I mean, we're talking about, I got a recommendation that was do less experiences, hire a young college girl, put her on YouTube, do top 5 catches with Cassie, and sell ads against it. And I was sitting there, and this is after they started the meeting saying, we love your content, we want to represent you, we love what you guys are doing. And I was like appalled. Like they're ripping the heart out of this. And I'm not naive. I understand it's dollars, and the SEC and ESPN are in bed together, and the Big Ten.
I will do top 5 catches till the day is long for the sums of money that can be at stake here.
Right. but the reality is that you have to stay true to yourself. And to me, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, it's a Snapback Saturdays game for me. So the confidence level is we're going to ingrain ourselves. We're going to do what we do. And we're going to, even if the view count isn't there, even if the follower count isn't there, I talk about this was what led me to the decision and why I have confidence in it. We went to Wisconsin, we went to Tennessee, and we got a lot of viewership, big schools. But we didn't leave with a piece of respect. We didn't leave with a piece of the fan base. You guys are here.
I don't know if you can say that after
we did it.
But you saying Wisconsin at the time was the biggest moment in the company's history.
I don't think that Wisconsin has thought about us since then. But what I do know is we emailed our guy at Hawaii, and he said the respect, the way you guys carried yourself, and the content that you performed in Hawaii, I've followed along for the rest of the year. And we just know after Coastal, they're tapping us to help with the big announcement. We know that, anything that we want to do with BYU, they're inviting us back for basketball. We're leaving with and even for the fan bases that we're not touching, I think we leave, and the 100 comments that we got that said, you guys made the right pick. Thank you for showcasing the FCS. You just there's a little something there, as opposed to, okay, you guys did LSU, got more views, but there's no impact. And it's the views or impressions versus the buys. I want to go places that are going to get people to buy us, not who we're going to get more impressions at, because that shit doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. So confidence level, I like the reaction's been so positive. So, I mean, it's even higher after that.
I'm torn. Certainly when the Athletic came out with that, I was like, damn.
I'm not torn. I'm just gonna no. You can be torn.
No, we're gonna say the same. We mean the same thing.
I don't think we do. I am going to be on the biggest LSU hate watch of all time.
No.
Of the most I want that outcome of that game to be the most bland LSU loss of all time, because if they get blown out, the stadium is empty by the second quarter and they're burning shit to the ground, or they win in the most electrifying thing ever, and you hear that was the craziest game ever, that's when I'll be really upset. So I just know that I'm on an aggressive, nuanced hate watch for the LSU game this weekend.
I'm same ditto. If that game is down to the wire with some outrageous thing happening, I'm gonna have the worst FOMO.
I mean, they played into 9 overtimes one time,
and usually we're not gameplay dependent, but it's like what the gameplay would provide to the experience. It almost makes it a little bit game. I just hope
but that's just you guys anchoring to something like
but part of why we dropped it is sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You got.
But part of why we dropped it is because it's such on a razor's edge of being situational, aka gameplay dependent.
Right.
Like situational in terms of they even could win in a spectacular way and the roof could come off the place. They could also then lose out. And it's like, I never want to think about this football team ever again. Talking about audience that we could bring in, right? Like, I never want to think about that nice night ever again because that preceded everything else, Right. So
I want them to lose like 27-17, and that's it.
But I had a couple more thoughts here as Jack went in on the we made the right decision, all that sort of stuff. I've been making notes on the legal pad the whole time, so I don't forget my thoughts. You are right about when we leave with an audience or leave with some people being like, thank you for like great. I did NHL. I think Carolina was one of the best places I went. Yep. Gained a ton of followers from there. And people were like, when are you coming back? I want to see how we stack up to other places you're going. There's some nuance in that. One, does that mean I don't want that to box us into, and I'm not saying, Jack, you would make us box this, but it would be more fun and easier to continue to go to places that are looking as like pick-me's. Like Carolina, it means a lot to them how they are viewed in the hockey landscape as a tough environment. They're like, someone tell us, are we? And so it's like, yeah, I'm here to do that. LSU ain't looking for that. They don't need that. But I also want to go to big ass sick places. Of course. So
and I will say that's what actually made this decision so tough is because it was the perfect time where they're not pick me, but we could go in and pick through and be like, well, you guys are told you're the best, but are you actually the best? Versus like we could go to Bama whenever, you could go to Tennessee whenever. This was a rare. That's what made the decision so tough. And we're not gonna turn into an FCS show. Although we see, I view it more as it's most impressive that we can be successful at the niche spots, that we could go to Kent State and we could go to Ivy League and it outperforms every other school. Like I just think that's a tap on us as being impressive. But no, if we have a chance to do the national championship, like sign me up. I'll be on the sideline. But at the same time, and LSU isn't a repeat offender for us, but like I've been to the Super Bowl 7 times, and every year Casey and I are like, what's our content for the Super Bowl? If we're not creating good content at those places, I'm also not interested. Like if we were to just go do Bama game day again, it's like we just want to see new shit.
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement, and I like how we go places. I knew BYU would be a hit. Like I knew Nebraska would work again because all timing of these things. It's just like I'm just frustrated that the game's the game, that like we can't. It's like I wish I could go to LSU and it was like a big deal, But and I'm like, will it ever? Like, and then I'm like, wait a minute, it's actually not even a big deal. Like when like game day goes there now, like so like no one. And I'm like, but I still really want to see it, So it's like that's kind of my thing. I'm like, are we just gonna keep going in this circle?
It was
and
also,
and I don't think it's like we're doomed because of it. I'm just like, and everyone, so many people. It's the nature of today's social media. Everything people have more. They're like, find your niche. This is what they mean. Is like find something that not everyone is talking about and dominating everyone's timeline. And I'm just like, God, well, I would really like to see a ranked on ranked matchup in a gigantic stadium. Like, does that mean I can't do that?
Flashback to when we said, like, we're not college game day. The only reason this was on the table is because we didn't have access at LSU. It was a somewhat flexible game for us. I started getting inundated with comments that were like, this isn't even the biggest, game this weekend. And so next week, Iowa State, like, we're going to Iowa State. I haven't looked at the schedule. I don't know who's bigger, what's big. Like, we're going to do that because you stack the content on the library of the channel so you can compare Iowa State to Iowa whenever we go to that game. Like, there's different use cases. This was just a rare opportunity that we could be flexible. We could make a story out of it, which is what we're doing at the end of the day. And, can we talk about the game day big noon debate?
One more thing, because also you're like, hey, it's already been successful with the comments, the follows, the views. Vert, it's like he's literally like a pack of dogs. It was like, yeah, get out there. Like, he's been unbelievable. Just dog on a bone, this guy, and it's working out well. Again, also for some reason I got the negative hat on today. I'm also like, is this also just a function of what happens when we have like an emergency meeting? Drop everything. Here's our content plan. Let's reach out to South Dakota State rather. What are you gonna do? Can we make a graphic? Can we do something together here? Like, we also were all hands on deck in a way that we really haven't been, and that's when, like, I look back and you're like, yeah, we didn't like grab followers from Tennessee or grab followers from Wisconsin. I'm like, yeah, we were still a little naive. We were still
we've gotten better. We've certainly.
And so then I'm like, I mean, this might have to be the same kind of plan, same kind of meeting, sit down for Iowa State the following week. Like, I also think we're not dominating, but doing really well because we all got together and said, this is how we're going to go about it. We were very strategic and tactical.
We would post that we were on campus Saturday after the game last year. We posted that post that we were going to
perfect.
That we were leaving.
Literally.
Before we get into the you left off at a perfect moment because I want our guest to give his or hers opinion on the decision. So you segued before we get into the game day. And
is this coming out of my own apartment?
Your wife?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I got.
She's setting up with the computer.
No.
Yeah. Why did you think it was her?
Well, you said his or hers, and I don't know. I thought it was funny. Like, I recorded something of her. I was like, hey, I'm going to South Dakota State instead of LSU. She was like, I didn't know you were going to LSU. So anyways, who's the guest?
You're going to see when he pops on the screen.
Kim Mulkey?
I think it's a he.
No,
so what are we waiting for? You said it's a perfect moment. I'm misunderstanding.
This is just classic this person. Just like set up a time and then not be on at 5,
Your mother?
No, my mother is very prompt. Oh, there he is.
Oh boy.
Was this a surprise?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we
it's
do
always
surprise
a surprise.
guests. Are you not a chopman?
I've chopped here and there, but me being the surprise is like you ask for a Curry 30 jersey on Christmas and they give you a Seth Curry jersey.
100%. It's not as bad as
no. By the way, the reaction when Vert came on as the surprise guest before was way worse than when your face popped on the screen.
Me and Vert, baby. I feel like it's fair for you two, Casey and Jack. But Tim, we've texted over in a group. But like, you got a bad reaction from me. We've never even met.
Casey also said it was going to be a girl.
No. I said his or her.
We don't assume gender at this company.
Yeah, that is a very good point. But he was like, I just thought we were getting. He's like,
Tim was a little horny, and
it wasn't a horny.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was.
It was just like, wow.
You made it seem like it was a girl, and then it wasn't.
When a company of mostly dudes says like he or she might be coming on, it's like, then you're like, wow, we're like actually legit.
I love that you threw out Kim Mulkey as if she was going to be the one to like see how she felt.
There are Kim
see
Mulkey.
How she.
There are.
Yeah. All right.
This was actually it. we're all pre-gaming, and you said the girls are on their way, and then just like one of our boys just walked downstairs with a backpack and was like, "Oh, word." So, hey, Abe.
Abe, you're a very loyal Snapback Sports follower, YouTube watcher. So I'm sure you're aware of this is decision part 3. We have Miami, Hennessy, and now this decision. What are your thoughts on pivoting LSU to South Dakota State?
I was fully in support. I texted Jack and I was like, this needs to be. Tim, right hand up. I thought you'd be a little bitter about it. You want to get to Death Valley at night. But a Brian Kelly led team. Is that his name, Brian Kelly? Yeah.
Yep.
Brian Kelly led team. You can go to the house that Wentz built. You kidding me?
It's not the house that Wentz built.
It's not that house that Wentz built.
Like, south or north?
South. Wentz built.
Dallas Goddard built this one, so it's fine.
He went to yeah.
Goddard went to good pull.
Tucker Kraft too, I think.
Yeah.
TEU out with Iowa.
Tight end and Gronowski.
I like the little random niche places. I don't need the game day spots.
Abe was also part of Penn Yale, so he knows the success that can come from giving the boys a playground in the middle of nowhere.
People forget that before Icy was hired, I was the resident Philadelphia snapback punching bag that Jack would monetize our pain and suffering from.
That's actually a perfect segue to the second reason.
Say segue one more fucking time, man. I'm not
he loves a perfect segue. He loves when things segue. Naturally flow in the schedule.
So I screenshotted a LinkedIn post of yours, you being proud of your company's progress or accomplishments per se. And the only reason I screenshot is because I've been floating the idea of bringing you back to Snapback Sports. So I'm just curious. What'd you say?
We at the negotiating table right now?
This is like we're getting like drinks in the lobby before you head up to the boardroom, like on the top floor and have real conversation. We're kind of just like shooting shit.
Yeah, I thought you were going to take that a totally different way and say we're getting dreams and we might smash.
We could smash. That's that's also on the table.
I did come prepared with a chop pun, but we didn't get to.
Go ahead.
I was just excited to get some sloppy choppy with the boys.
I like sloppy choppy.
I like that. I like sloppy choppy.
And I also had one other topic to bring up on the topic of sloppy choppy. And this is in defense of my boy Tim, we live in a day and age where the internet lives forever, right? And as a fellow athlete myself and just internet person, you can't just be doxing cock on podcasts. You can't.
By the way, it was cleared #1 performing clip on Chop, and 2 cleared by
clicks. Where's the line in the sand?
I mean, we didn't show.
One episode I did, Tim pretty much did show his dick when he was doing the Pat McAfee impression.
That's true.
I'm in sweatpants.
Can we get back to the original question?
Oh, my bad.
If the opportunity of Snapback Sports was on the table, but that would involve you, again, I don't know your salary, but most likely taking somewhat of a pay cut and becoming a full-time content creator, where, I did not prep you with this at all. So just like thrown on you, how do you feel about that proposition?
Vibes. Have to be for the right number. We could get to the table and talk about it.
Are you like a Quentin Grimes type though?
Am I looking for
where like you go see the market and you're just like, guess it.
Listen, I will sign your qualifying offer, and you can if that's what we're doing. But I didn't come prepared for these types of conversations. But I'm not a Kurt Signetti type. Like, I'm gonna keep the door open in case the Nittany Lions come calling.
I mean, it's a nice looking pad you got behind you. I don't know if.
Yeah, you don't really get this in New York City. You get it in the dumpster that is Philadelphia.
Well, you will be moving to New York City, which would make the transition to your new role easier.
I'm not much of an office guy.
Me neither.
One of my comp packages would need like designated 1 hour a day of me and Casey playing the show.
Wait. Tim, you said you're not an office guy. Everything in life you've ever wanted was us to all be in the same place, so you could literally just bullshit all day long.
I know, but now I kind of have things to do.
Right.
I get I know it's not best for me.
Right.
I'm not going to show you guys. I'm not going to stand up. Speaking of doxing cock, but I'm fully taking this call in my underwear right now, and that's the beauty that you get from work.
Oh my god, that's
100%.
crazy! People work from home, oh my god, it's insane.
Abe, how would you feel about becoming a full-time content creator?
I don't really know what that entails.
It's so hard.
No, not great so far.
It's really difficult.
I'm very much in the book of, or in the camp of, let's make bank, but let's not stress ourselves out over work. And Casey, you're intimidating. When you get stressed, you get intimidating.
Yeah, no. If that's your feeling, then this is not the place for you. It's less money, more stress.
Yeah,
never thought of it that way.
But more time with Icy Vert.
And more camera time.
Icy.
And more time at sporting events.
Icy's my guy. I don't really do well at sporting events. Anytime I've gone with Jack to a sporting event, it doesn't really end up well for me.
Talk about the worst thing to say in a interview / drinks in the lobby.
Well, you only
I don't do well.
You've only been set up. You've only
he
been
also
set
didn't
up
apply for this role.
You've only
you
been
guys are like he's interviewing terribly. Meanwhile, we're like, hey,
you need a
what's the
resume
role
on payroll? Is that what this job entails?
No, the role would just be more. You'd be just frontward facing talent in YouTube videos, making social content.
Who gave you the authority to?
There's no authority. This is not an official. We're still just getting drinks and giving OTP.
I will need in my comp package. I will need an iPhone 17. So connect me with Sean.
So you do listen to Chop.
That was the one episode I listened to.
So you're a part-time chopman.
I'm a chopper. I'm a chopper.
I mean, Abe, I'm so grateful that you listened enough to hear that part. But just candidly, Casey, this feels like a situation where we didn't have a guest this week, so we just went with one of our friends, and we're just gonna shoot the shit with them.
Isn't that
no?
Chop?
It's partly true, but partly not true. This is not shooting the shit. Abe's just not taking my proposal.
Has lore, Tim.
Abe's not taking
sports lore.
Abe's also not taking my proposal very seriously.
Right, because one, your name says Marlon Humphrey. Two, if you're hiring me to do 50 glizzies in 50 states, we can talk.
That would probably be.
This is our own G Federation.
Yeah.
No.
What if you went to 100 stadiums in 100 days?
In all seriousness, it's always an option, right? But definitely didn't come prepared for this type of conversation.
The only thing that I worry about, and again, no offer has been made, and you have shown zero interest. So, but in just
to be interested
in just your initial, the Snapback Sports you worked at previously has changed drastically.
In what way?
And it's not as fun as it used to be, I will say.
No, it's way more fun.
Great thing.
Even I used to he used to subway to my apartment. We would literally sit in a box, ideal for hotboxing. We would have fucking Eagleson producing the show. This kid actually did not do a fucking thing. Greatest kid on planet Earth. But why was he producing a show? We came with the topics. He literally talked for hockey for a minute. I don't think he knew how to edit a thing. Did he edit our stuff?
That's literally the dream. Eagleson's
he was
actually the GOAT.
No, he's the GOAT.
Eagleson is in Snapback history. But it sounds like Casey just offered me a job, asked me one question, and now I'm just sitting here for 20 minutes getting absolutely shit.
No. I did not offer you a job. I'm gauging interest in you potentially having a job here.
Even worse, he wants you to expose yourself and be like, hey, I would do it. To be like, actually, it's pretty hard and you don't want to be here.
Yeah, do you want to come home with me? I'm going to make you I'm going to make you say it.
I feel like Casey's going to clip this and attach the clip under my LinkedIn post from yesterday so I get fired so he has leverage.
No. This is not gotcha culture. This is as real of a fake conversation that you can have.
It's like when I talk about the Sixers and
That's another great segue to that future NBA champion.
I'm getting pissed off at the whole segue thing.
Yeah.
No, that one was on purpose. All right. All I'm going to ask for you is, one, I appreciate your time coming on. And two, just meditate on it, marinate on it. Do you love your current situation, or do you want to be at Snapback Sports?
Is that an offer? What are you doing?
No, it's not an offer. I'm just curious if he would.
Sounds like you didn't run this past Boss Man. You're just looking to chill with your boy, which I respect.
Sue me.
No. No case filed.
Sorry, I want to share a hotel room on the road with you.
Do you want me to just screenshot this real quick, me and Abe, so that you can get views? Because Abe and I on the mic is obviously like for the lore.
Right. Just tease it.
Just eyeball emoji.
Eyeball emoji. Yeah.
Eyeball emoji.
And or like a clock or something, and then just soon. Like something like that.
Love soon.
Also in kind of tit for tat, if you get the iPhone 17, a requirement on our end is you becoming fat again. And I don't like that's just better for viewership. You know that. Like,
well, he doesn't really have, if he travels with us,
not health insurance.
If you travel with us, you really don't have a choice. You're gonna get fat.
That's true.
That's also true.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of,
go ahead.
I just got a text from Nick's Burgers, the coveted spot in South Dakota for hamburgers. So we got the inn. That's the nice thing about what we're doing now is like Tim, remember when you guys went to Bama and people were like, oh, you got to eat at this steakhouse. And like, it's literally fucking Nate Oates. Is the only person who has a reservation. Like we go to Brookings. I tweet one thing. I say, I want to go to Nick's. Everyone says go to Nick's. And the owner of Nick's is texting me being like, we got you Friday night.
While I agree, let's hold horses. We were in a 3-hour queue at the breakfast place, and we couldn't get into the one dinner spot in Provo.
No, I'm saying the nice thing about going small, supporting small businesses, is they're excited about big businesses.
Yeah, I want white tablecloth in the back. I don't just want them like brought out in a paper bag. Like if we're being honest. And then Abe, one more thing for you, because you were saying something of value other than trying to dodge, as rightfully so, as Casey was throwing like wrenches at you, making you beg for it. It kind of reminded me, it's like, do you want to get back together? And we, instead of just like Casey sending the text, like, hey, you up? Like, what are you thinking of you? He just was like, let's just talk right away. And you weren't really ready for that step. All to say, you do enjoy as a consumer when we go to the smaller places. And before I let you speak on it, I'm just saying, I agree with you. It works. It's like a power up for us. But at what point is it like, I also would really like to go to some big, crazy, massive, big games too.
Yeah, for sure. But that's where, like, if it was a different game than this week, like if it was Ohio State versus, I don't know, Oregon or something, that's not a great example because Oregon's coming off a loss, but LSU just came off a loss. You're putting that photo up on socials of people leaving early and stuff. Again, game day's going. It's like, you guys want to dominate a spot and like have your content be the center of that. I understand why you go to the big noon kickoff and why you went to Provo, but like just following game day sucks. Like we see it every single week on ESPN from 10 to 12. I don't need to see it for another 45 on YouTube on a Tuesday night after I want to kill myself because Joel Embiid can't make it up and down the court.
And I agree with you. It is, you are correct, but it's just like, then what? We have to be signed by game day and be the new panel. Like what, how do I go to big things too?
Yeah. You might've gone into this before I joined, but I'm curious what the internal discussions and who was on each side and what the pitch was for going to LSU versus going to Brookings.
Dawson and I were LSU. Tim and Jack were South Dakota State.
That sounds like logistically it was a little bit more of a pain in the ass to get to Brookings, and that's where you and Dawson were like, fuck that, I'm out.
Nope. I was connecting either way.
Dawson has never still been to a like big time legit college football game.
SEC.
SEC. And
I mean, we went to Ole Miss, but yeah.
Yeah, he still has never been to like the spectacle. So he was chomping at the bit for that.
And he had a Twitter shardy at LSU.
She has a boyfriend. She has a boyfriend.
Because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score.
Well said, Abe. And I also knew that people were going to assume that I was going to be the pro LSU guy. So I just was like, right away, I'm just going to flip.
Big contrarian Kalinowski.
Contrarian Kalinowski. Yeah. I was like, you guys are expecting me to be down with LSU, even though like secretly, every podcast I listen to, every article I read is like this game like could be the final act for Brian Kelly, and I'm like, that'd be so sick to be there.
Yeah, I mean, at what point do you ask Stephanie from Kappa Delta what her game day routine is at a big state?
And we can't post it.
God, no, I want to hear about North Dakota, South Dakota beef.
No, and I'm not. When we know we can't even do the game day routine anymore. We have to delete all of them because they DM us the next day and say that like they're not going to get a job.
You want to know what Sunday Scaries looks like? Just check the Snapback Sports TikTok DMs on Wednesday after we post game day routine.
Abe, I really appreciate you joining. The offer may or may not be in your inbox by the time you depart from this, and I loved seeing your face.
Yeah, my one demand, I'm not reporting up to Casey. Simple as that. You don't even send the offer if that's the case.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
And anytime that there is a tragic, and I actually wanted to DM Dawson about this, anytime my heart is broken from a Philadelphia sports team, it means to go back to the negotiating table for a raise because what was our best podcast? Sixers Celtics Game 7 when I almost passed away in the apartment. Like I'm going to need raises anytime Joel Embiid breaks my heart, but we can talk.
I mean, part of that
money for that because
that's a raise that's an annual raise. Isn't
I'm also going to need my fan-controlled football investment back and.
Knights of DGen.
And NBA Top Shot investment. So if we can get those rolling back to me, then
if anyone deserves their investment back, it's you because you said sell.
Yes. Anyway, was an absolute pleasure getting choppy. First time chopper, long time chopper, and thanks for having me.
We'll see you at the offsite.
Limited Alex Scheinman events.
He's out.
Cool.
You're good.
Right. See you, fellas.
Okay.
Like that.
Can we talk?
I know you want to do game day.
I thought 5:30. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that game day was kind of the most clippable, no?
If you can do it in
Can we just
3
say
minutes.
our picks?
Our NFL picks?
Yeah, like maybe this week
We're in good shape. We're in good shape.
Yeah, do the discussion. I'll cut you off when I need to. I'll be like the guy when
Commanders,
you were doing
Commanders spread.
No. Do game day first.
College game day. All right, Tim. This is where we're gonna unsheath the swords and battle. So, I just think that game day has become. We've talked about this at length. Like game day is like anything. It's like capitalism. They invest all this money, ESPN into the SEC. They got to puff them up. Fox does the same thing with the Big Ten. Both units go to each. If you're not intelligent, maybe you don't understand why, but obviously they're going to promote the product that pays them. So like, all right, let's skip past those layers and get into like the real talk here. Because we talked about it earlier, like, does BYU get a higher score because of XYZ, because they handled us better, et cetera. But I actually think that game day and the SEC and ESPN, they're killing their golden goose and they're just turning into the NFL. And yeah, like
this was my line.
I know, but they're slightly tweaking the. Like you said, you get why they're going to Vandy. But what you really said was Vandy is fine. And that was why I said, no, I'm not going to give them the pass with Vandy. Because just because it's fine and it's a slight tweak, doesn't mean it's the right decision.
Right. It's like we've moved the goalpost for them because our expectations are so low.
Exactly.
They haven't been.
But I will also fight back. I think for what it's worth, I think Vandy's the right decision. They haven't been since 2008. They're finally building something special. So I'll let them off this one
jack
time.
Shit.
Diego
What
P?
is great? They're gonna have a great year. They're gonna beat the piss out of Texas. They're gonna beat Missouri. Sure, they're not building anything. Missouri. This is it. This is where the road ends for Vanderbilt. Pavia graduates. It's done.
That's why that's why you should do it now, because you only get to do it every once in a blue moon.
It's kind of like you had to go to Colorado while Shadur was there.
Yeah.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying Vandy isn't building anything.
Why not?
You think that this is now a program that you're going to bet on?
But that's not what game day is. It's not the sell.
No, that's what Casey said.
No, he's saying something separate. He's saying something separate.
Casey said that. Casey, I was responding to Casey.
Oh,
so do you think Vanderbilt or Indiana or LSU or South Dakota State is the story of the weekend? Now, not the biggest one, because we know the biggest one is going to be the SEC, and wherever ESPN goes, by default, it's going to become the biggest. But if you could remove media biases and like put them into a vacuum, what's the story of the weekend?
The story of the weekend, actually, to me, is what's going to happen to the losing coach of Ole Miss and Oklahoma.
Okay. So that's the college football storyline. Now, next is what does game day stand for? Like, what is college game day? I guess that would be the question.
I think
in your head, Tim.
Game day is there to game day is actually sets storyline. I don't think they follow storyline. I think the point of game day should to set storyline. And for them right now, it is a celebration of what a underdog school in Vanderbilt football is doing right now. They've just completed the massive stadium renovation, which was going to be, again, another eyesore of an empty stadium with a crane in the West End zone. And now there's buzz around the program because of what they've built. And on the other hand, you have Missouri, who was also often forgotten about in the SEC, as pairs of one-loss teams playing against each other. And I think that I like when game day...
They're both irrelevant. They're not title contenders. They're not.
Vanderbilt is a threat to win the SEC.
No, they're not.
They could make the playoff. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Boise State made the playoff. They're not a threat. You would put them in the contenders tier in my little game.
Okay, Jack. Then if you're doing that, then game day is only going to 4 spots. So you're actually
that's not the point.
Here.
No. My point is, it's not a program defining game because no one takes Vanderbilt or Missouri serious. No one, unless the only argument that I could hear for why game day is at Vandy is because they're going to turn the Pavia thing into a real thing. Deep in college football, the ball knowers, they know Pavia, but my mom doesn't know Pavia, right? Like no casual.
I mean, the guy's been in college football for 6-7 years now. People know who Diego Pavia is.
No, you're
not.
wrong.
No, they don't.
Too deep.
Okay, then again, another good reason to go there.
No, that's my point. Look, if they're gonna say we're taking Diego, he's the next Johnny, he's Heisman, and here's why we're here. But I'm frustrated with acting like this is Vanderbilt's moment. Like Vanderbilt, Pavia graduates, it's done. No one's thinking about playing at Vanderbilt over Alabama.
You don't know that.
Of course, that's why we debate it. That's my opinion.
But
if you don't know the opposite.
Then why go to Jackson State for the 1 year for Dion's last year there?
Because the story is just that is.
You don't think about Jackson State much anymore now that
I'm not saying I'm each individual game is different. Each individual game and why they choose each one. That was the story. That's my point. What my point is, you said they set storyline. So what I'm saying is, if they're going to go in there and try and set the storyline that Vandy is here and here to stay because they completed renovation.
They don't have to be here to stay for game day to be there. The fact that it's like when they went to Indiana last year, we didn't know if Indiana was here to stay, but they went to Indiana, and it was like, look at what's going on here. Many of us still do not take Vanderbilt seriously, and I don't care if you do or not. I still kind of don't, deep down, because I cannot disassociate losing football with that brand. But them being there, again, as storyline setters, is like, it's a validation, like it's a feather in your cap of like, look what's going on here. And that was the Diego year. That was the year we beat LSU. That was the year game day was here. Like, those are things as fans that you forever remember. Like, I remember Grayson McCall at Coastal Carolina game day going there. I remember that year. They were like 13-1 or whatever the hell it was. Like, you remember that. So that's what they're doing. This moment is like one of the points when you define this year of college football 2025. Like, that was also the year that like Vanderbilt like had like a little cute season the year before and then was like actually pretty legit.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think we're confusing it. Like, that what we can exactly not do is like try and catch lightning in a bottle. That's kind of what game day should. They go to lightning in a bottle. I think what we're missing, like, that's why I think Vandy this week is fine. Last week, what lightning are you catching in Athens there?
Last week another was ridiculous. That's the one.
Like, that's the difference.
Sure.
Is last week you have a better argument. What are they there for? This
of
week,
course, it's a better argument. I get it too. My point was, Tim said it's fine, and that's my agreement. I'm not. It was the same reason we debated over LSU and South Dakota State all week, is because it's not that there was an obvious option, but at its core, what is game day? What do they do? Okay, so if your take is that they celebrate, seasons and moments in time, that's fine. And okay, so they can go do Vandy. My point is, I think you got to make it about Pavia, and I haven't seen it yet, but we also haven't seen it kind of play out. But yes, it's the whole evolution of the show.
Clark Lee could be the candidate for the Penn State job. He could be a coach at a bigger time program next year. So like this could all be done. We go forget about Vanderbilt again. But that's what I think. I think that's actually the purpose of game day. It just so happens that we are very fed up and quite annoyed. And I think a lot of people are, that it's SEC stop.
Yes.
I shout out to that guy, Cody, who's a friend of the program, who made like the graph of where game day has been over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It's like SEC. I think it's doubled every year.
It's SEC exhaustion.
I want him to make a graph that's like, I wouldn't count Vanderbilt as SEC. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like Big Ten. It's like, I wouldn't count Indiana as Big Ten.
But you said they set storylines?
No, I think, Tim, you're right. Also, I think you made a good point. Like, nobody knows who Clark Lee is. If game day can go do a deep dive on him before he becomes the Penn State job, that's cool. And it's like, again, going back to last week, there is nothing you could have told me about the Georgia Ole Miss game that is new, cool information that I didn't have before.
There was nothing novel about going to Georgia for the 55th time. And the quiet part out loud is, and I'm happy we're going to South Dakota State, 1 versus 2. These guys like play as a top 10 matchup quite often now. So it's kind of like, you can do that. You can do that'll be
that was part of our conversation. We could probably do this again, and we could do LSU again. Like, both were definitely on the table for sure. And
I'm thinking that from a game day perspective too. Like, they've also done this. They've done it in Brookings, and these two foes play quite often with high stakes. So
I think if it was in Fargo, there may have been a different.
They've been to Fargo more than they've been to Brookings.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I'm all in on picking on game day right now. I'm just saying Vanderbilt for me is just not the time. I think I haven't been excited to put on game day in a bit. And to me, Vanderbilt, I'm like interested in seeing that scene. I'm interested in seeing like
if they pull through. I think that's the other thing. I saw comments that were like, even when they're going now, they've lost. Like, it's not a show for the college football fan, right? Because in reality, it's like, what is McAfee and Herbstreit picking TCU, Iowa State from Vanderbilt technically do?
At this point, you speak about in-game entertainment. Going back to our first conversation, from watching Big Noon and Game Day, I think Big Noon is 20 times the better experience. I mean, Jack and I saw the behind the scenes. They're moving all over the fucking place like I've never seen before.
They got a good show.
Game Day is definitely not the place for your analysis on the college football board. It is that's why I look at, again, celebration of like a culturally, in what I like to think.
But give me the stories, right? Like, who's
so you're
the Vandy fan?
You're going to see the story
I need to
about
see that.
Clark Lee. He lives down the street from his office. Like, he walks to his office, and it's where he's from, Nashville, Vanderbilt alumni. And like, whether it's real or not, built this. He was about to be fired. And then he did something that few coaches do, as stubborn and pig-headed as they are. He hired New Mexico State's OC and said, bring your quarterback with you. And it's like, you're going to try. Like, what a thing to try. Vanderbilt's going to try and solve the SEC by bringing in New Mexico State's brain trust and roster. So like, that is pretty cool. So again, while they're here,
I agree. I don't want it misconstrued. I'm not saying like we're in agreement. Georgia, Ole Miss, that's a disaster. That's laughable. I'm not saying this one is laughable. I'm saying the expectation has shifted. And I was trying to say, what is I still don't think you answered. What is the right one? What is, you said biggest storyline is
this
the coaches,
week,
but what
Vanderbilt's correct, 100%.
Okay.
In a vacuum.
All right.
Like, again, we're pissed off about last week for sure. And you know what? I also would like to know if they really did snub BYU, because I also don't, now with the two big shows, I think that there's more going on there than we even know.
They both did it from Texas, Ohio State.
Right. I mean, that was 1 verse 3, 1 verse 2.
Yeah.
No, but it was the Corso send off. So Fox did.
It's like, where's Cosmo gonna be?
Right.
I get what you're saying.
I think they're not stoked to do them together as many times as they.
That makes sense.
All right. So like, again, all in to pile on them. It's just, I think the Vandy stuff is gonna be cool this week. I was looking at some of Game Day's like best years, like 2022 was like, I wrote down as like their fastball year. Montana State, Jackson State, Kansas, App State, Pitt. Like, that's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's why
I would actually throw Vandy into that mix, because that's like Kansas, I think.
Yeah. It is.
That's what. Yeah. I agree. All right. Cool. Anything else,
This
Jack?
is our fastball year when we pivot off LSU to South Dakota State.
Yeah. All right. NFL picks.
Commanders plus
wrap.
10.5.
Well, we're not going away from the recap.
Last
week, Jack said the Browns should not be favored in any game. The Dolphins got absolutely blown out. He was on the Dolphins. Tim took the Raiders plus 11.5. Did they lose 31-0?
I wanted the Eagles, though. I talked to myself.
And then I won with the Eagles.
Yep.
Jack is 2-5. Tim is 1-6, and I am 4-3. Jack, what is your pick?
You're him. They're all losers, so just give me the Commanders. I don't know who's gonna play. Like, if McLaurin and Debo are out, I don't want it. But if they're in, I want it.
Why? That's not the game.
Right. So whatever. Fuck it. Give me the Commanders. Hopefully they play. And are the Commanders really
but then you're going to come on and be like, I didn't want it if they don't play.
Yeah. It's called being good at fucking content. It's called storylines. It's called having outs. Like, look it up. But I don't know. The Raiders were 11-point dogs at the Chiefs. I just don't see a world where the Commanders would be neutral, would be pick against the Raiders. Obviously, that's an upgrade to Kansas City. I just don't know if I'm crowning Kansas City. They look really, really good right now, but they've also beat up on, little sisters of the poor.
Teams.
So I think the Commanders are a fine ball club. I think Jaden, if he plays, that's another one who's on the injury report.
He ain't playing.
No, he's out.
He's out.
He's ruled out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no one wanted to say that.
I thought you were.
I assumed you knew. That happened 4 hours ago.
The line has moved like 4 points.
Oh, so what is it? Plus 15?
No, it was 9.5. It's now 12 and a half.
Oh, all right. We'll move on. He's out. I'm sorry. I've been working fucking all day. I'm not a professional.
Tim, what's your pick?
So was I sharp to say I like them at 10.5 with Daniels, or was that baked into the line?
Sure.
I was just like, do you know something I don't? I'm quite confused.
Yeah, he knew something we don't at 3:00 when he was like, Lamar, buddies at practice.
Yeah.
I gotta hope that my offshore lets me cancel my Bears bets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still winner.
No, it's
Ravens thing.
Don't do that.
I told like 12 people I knew, and then sure enough, he literally got the video.
All right, Tim, what's your pick?
Might have to flip a coin here between two dog shit, dreadful teams.
Why do you guys continue to do this?
Because it's what we fucking do. It's what we're trained to do.
But it's not a
Then
successful
make
strategy.
my pick, and then you make my pick. And
No,
we get
I'm
off.
not
Who
saying that you
cares?
can't make your pick. I'm just asking a question. The viewers may be curious why you keep betting on bad teams when it never works also.
Why did it take so long to go for 2? Because it's just what we do, brother.
Well, I know we're doing this show until we're 70, and we only have a 1.5 sample size. But when we're 50, if it doesn't change, I'm gonna speak up because we're gonna have.
That's fine.
Hey, you had the Bengals last week over Pittsburgh, dog shit team.
Not with Joe.
I mean,
sorry, who's your pick? I interrupted you.
My pick will be. Oh boy. I want to hear your reaction to the two. Which one do you like better? Cleveland +7 at New England.
Yeah, I almost picked that.
Yeah, I think. Oh, dog shit team though.
Kind of.
That's gonna be the pick.
One of the best defenses in football.
That's gonna be the pick. Cleveland +7 at New England.
Yeah, I like that. I also think people have gotten too high on the Pats, especially after beating up on a shit Titans team.
Well, the Patriots, Drake May is good, but he is funny.
The Patriots are good. I just think they're not as good as maybe people think currently.
Well,
that's all.
The thing to me is he's on a all-time heater. Like his completion percentage is like 91% over the last since the Pittsburgh game, and just any sort of regression to not 91% makes me feel better. And Cleveland defense is really good. Also, New England just played 3 straight road games. First game back home now. Hard to get up for every single week. They got up for the Buffalo road game, which was a big one. New Orleans was mixed in there. They took care of business. And then you had to get up again on the road. Titans, Vrabel return. Now you come home. You feel good about yourself.
I also think the worst game the Pats have played was the Steelers when they were creating havoc with the pass rush and making Drake. Like, they turned the ball over 4 or 5 times, 6 times that game against the Steelers. I think Cleveland can do something similar with Garrett if they can get him. Like, Drake was great. He's been very comfortable, it feels like, lately. If Cleveland can do what Pittsburgh did, I think 7's a lot as well. So I like that. My pick, I'm going to go extremely public, is the Falcons -7.5.
Who do they play?
Their pass rush is young and athletic. They play Dolphins. I know Jack isn't a big vibes guy, but like, your coach comes out and says, hopefully my quarterback doesn't throw 10 interceptions. Like, there can't be Tua talking shit about his like, the vibes cannot be worse in Miami. And I think the Falcons coming off a very performance. I think they'll bounce back in a big way, and like, they're not going to make changes yet. I think after this week, when they lose by 40, something's going to be forced to change.
I don't know. Don't say vibes can't be worse in Miami. Don't do something immediately after your pregnant wife requests it. Then vibes will be worse in Miami. But yeah, outside of that, vibes are pretty bad.
I didn't understand that.
I'm in Miami. Like vibes couldn't be worse. Like you really don't. You didn't get that.
Got it.
Okay.
I thought you were saying like something was worse than the vibes in the Miami locker room, and it was something about your pregnant wife.
I'm saying if you don't do something immediately after she requests
Yes.
it.
Got it.
All right. You want bad? I'll go as bad as it gets. Give me the Jets. The Jets plus 6.5.
That was that was what I was torn between.
Yeah. Okay. Look, the Jets are horrendous, but the Bengals win one game on a short week, and now they're laying a touchdown because they have Joe Flacco. They barely beat Pittsburgh. They couldn't get a stop against Pittsburgh. I'm fine with it. And Tyrod is just as able.
They haven't announced actually yet who they're starting.
Gamesmanship.
Yeah, if he doesn't play, that is.
Thank you all for joining. Hit the subscribe button. We love you all. You guys are the real ones, and we will see you in Sioux Falls, Brookings.